Hello and welcome to another TouchyGooners podcast. It's your boy Dankoogs on hosting duty today, and it's nice to see you guys face to face, not via a StreamYard code or a StreamYard link or anything like that. This is a very special first episode of the 24-25 season, coming straight to you from the studio, and I'm joined by the people's fan favorite at the moment, right? So this guy, he's newest cast member on the block, and he's here to basically just tussle, cause beef. I think there's not one person on the TG group chat that's not had a little tussle with Khalil over the past month or so. So, Khalil, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me. It's interesting how the people love me, but the castmates hate me. It's a nice balance, isn't it?
I'm also joined by my namesake, German DZ. How you doing? Fresh
Good.
dripped out. Yeah.
Oh my god, come on, chill. I'm
This guy came in a camel jacket, yeah. Camel jacket in 33-degree weather, yeah. What's going on here?
Chill on me, man. Chill on me.
I don't know what to say.
And the deep voice that you've heard there is from the hood solicitor himself, fresh in the 24-25 jersey. I like to see it as well.
Come on.
Mr. Shaps, how you doing, my man?
Yeah, man, I'm good, man. This heat is killing me, but apart from that, man.
What do you mean? You're not enjoying the hot rays?
No, I love it. It's just, it was a bit of a mad dash to get here on time.
You're one of those that says they prefer winter, yeah?
Nah, impossible.
Okay.
Impossible. No.
You're
I'll take these
on
days.
the right side of history.
Yeah.
The right side of history. So, guys, if you're not doing it already, just to make you aware, you should be following the TouchyGooners on all social platforms. There's TikTok videos, there's Instagram reels, there's tweets that get the people going. You know, Khalil has got access to the TG password. He's been running rampant over there. German Dan, he's been dropping some. I don't even know what he's been.
I'm getting involved more on the TG account.
He's been trying to tussle. Yeah, drop some gems.
Trying to. This is my brand, bro. Tussling is my brand, bro. If I'm not tussling, I'm not doing my job.
Okay. And I've been dropping some one-liners here and there, man. Maybe more. Yeah. So if you don't want to miss out on that content, make sure you're following us on all socials. We will be soon getting our TouchyGooners feed on your favorite podcast listening app. So keep an eye out for that. We do want to make sure that you convert from the Touchline Fracas feed straight over to the TouchyGooners one. So that will be coming at some point, first few months of the season. So keep your eyes peeled, your ears to the ground about when that is, to keep showing us some love and some support. And finally, before we get into the pod, the TouchyGooners Patreon has been popping all summer. Yeah, we've got Calafiori scouting pieces. So he made his debut today in pre-season against Leon, but you would have known what he's all about if you had watched the Patreon piece. We've got Mikel Marino, who everyone's favorite ITK is saying is joining this week. We've scoped him out. We've scoped out several forward targets as well. So if you don't want to be missing that good video content, make sure you tune in and lock into the Patreon. £3 a month is all we ask from you to get that content. So that's a very, very cheap price for what I personally think is top quality content. So, boy. Now, let's get into it. Arsenal, 2-0, headers and volleys football, I should say, against Leon in our last game of the pre-season. So, Khalil, I will start with you, actually, because I think you, like me, watched most of the match. I'm not sure how much
I haven't really watched. I only saw the
Shaps
goals.
were able to catch. So I'll be coming to you for your thoughts on this game, right? Because I thought we were pretty dominant in this match. I thought we were pretty dominant. Really had Leon camped in their half for most of the first half, and then I think the threat sort of led to a lot of set pieces, not really a lot of shots, but we made the set pieces count. 2 Rice corners right on the money. Saliba with the first, Gabriel with the second. So what did you make of our performance against Leon?
Yeah, it was reminiscent of a lot of our home performances last season, where we really camped in the opposition's half. Our press was really on point as usual. Leon really struggled to get out. We managed to get the ball high up in their half to create half chances, but again, our decision-making execution wasn't really leading to clear opportunities, in my opinion. So again, when the breakthrough happened, it came from a set piece, and again, it seems like it's going to be another season of us dominating from set pieces and making those breakthroughs through Gabriel and Saliba. I think it goes to show that we're obviously a very good team, and there's very small margins for us to improve upon. There's nothing particularly wrong in what we did. I think it's noticeable that the lineup had Declan Rice as our 8, and we had Zinchenko starting as our fullback. I think that's the lineup we're going to see next week. Martinelli, I think we're going to be getting into him a lot more as the pod goes on. There were a number of opportunities where he could have made better opportunities for himself based upon the balls he was receiving and the space he was receiving them in. He had a few half chances and a few shots that again could have been better. I do think it was noticeable that our build-up definitely came a lot more equal through the right side and the left side, because I know we've spoken about our left side quite a bit and how it needs to improve this season. Against Zinchenko, there were a number of times when he was whipping in balls into the box from that left side, or just building up and trying to make breakthroughs down that side. I do wonder whether Rice and Martinelli, if sort of what the past maps will reflect again, because Rice was picking up the ball in kind of those half spaces, but I don't know whether him and Martinelli were necessarily on the same wavelength or whether their strengths are sort of suited like that. But yeah, overall, like I said, it reminded me of many of the performances we had at home last season. Really dominant. We were never sort of not in control. I think there was sort of one chance in the second half, I think it was, where I think Maitland-Niles put a cross in and Raya came out, and I think it was Gabriel that cleared the ball. Yeah, I think, again, we're a really good team. It's sort of the same questions that we've been having all summer about how does this team get from, 89 points to 95 plus points. I still have concerns about the variation in our attacking play because, again, we know we can build up really well. We bought more guys who can help us build up really, really well. But I still think when we get to that final third, there's a level of ingenuity that we still require, or there's a level that we need our other attackers, bar Saka, to improve upon if we're really going to, break that 95, 96 point threshold.
Yeah, I think you touched on some good points there, right? Because I'm watching that Martinelli performance in particular, right? And I thought he was okay on the day overall, but there's definitely actions where, he's taken a heavy touch when he's been played through, or he's not been quite able to get himself across the defender to muster the shot, or, he's just not, the efficiency is not quite there. And for me, that's quite a problem because I think from the very first day that Martinelli started playing for Arsenal, I would say efficiency is probably his MO, in the sense that, not necessarily always making the right decision, but he has a propensity to get goals and assists, right? I think that's what he's always been about. First season playing as a striker, I think he scored 13 goals all competitions, something like that. Sharp shooting at Anfield, sharp shooting in the Europa League and all that. And I think he scored in his debut against West Ham in the Premier League, all of this stuff that was happening. And then I think as he sort of, developed now, I think, getting a hold of the ARP, it's almost now that he's like overthinking some of his actions, where previously, when a lot of his play was, quite instinctive, quite instinctual, he will cut onto his left and just let a shot fly, and he doesn't necessarily seem to be doing that so much. So on your point around, how do we get to the 95 points, etc., I do think Martinelli is a big potential factor in us getting those extra points, because him having a 6-goal season as our ostensibly starting winger can't happen again if we're trying to topple Man City.
He could transition out again like he did last season, to be honest. Like, Trossard got 10 goals in the league or something like that.
12.
We're at the level now. If you're not performing, you're out. You can like the player or not, and I like Martinelli, but this left-hand side thing is a Martinelli issue, and I said it last season, in my opinion. Like, his efficiency is down, his danger, not necessarily, but the end product of that danger resulting into is down. And if it continues to be down, then he could be one of the ones that next year the club will move on. We're at that level now where, boy, You know, you have to perform or you're out. There's only very few players I think in this team that the club will look to now like we're not moving them. But Martinelli is he's one of the movable pieces. Same for Jesus. Him and Jesus are the main two this season. That if they don't step up, I think they're gone next year.
Yeah, 100%. And I think the big difference between what we're seeing from Martinelli and Trossard is that efficiency. You know, so and I think there's a little bit of the way they play that position. So Arteta, he made some comments at the end of the Leverkusen game about how Jesus, Havertz and Trossard all play together. And he said all three of them have got those false nine qualities, right? And I think you see Trossard drift central a lot more than you see Martinelli drift central. And, you know, that sort of positional interchange when he's playing up top with Havertz. And I think they don't really seem to have quite that same relationship, Havertz and Martinelli, that gets Martinelli into those scoring positions where maybe he can be, you know, a bit more effective. But, you know, overall today, I actually thought he was okay. I don't mind it if, you know, every action isn't perfect. You get what I'm saying? As long as, you know, he's involved in the game, he's creating things. And obviously the 2 corners that we won, you know, he's done good work to win those corners. For us to, you know, get the 2 goals. So I don't want to be like, oh yeah, we're bashing Martinelli here, because I don't think his performance was that bad. But I do think that is a position that every Arsenal fan is going to be watching closely.
I think we're being
the season.
At the moment we're being balanced. I think I didn't watch the game, but I just went on Twitter and he was getting bashed. He's the eyes are on him, not just from the ops, but from Arsenal fans. They're looking at him like, boy, and he's my guy, but at the end of the day, bro, I can shoot at anyone. So you either deliver or you don't, man.
The thing is, what do we expect to see from him in pre-season? He hasn't showed
Yeah,
yet.
and pre-season is a difficult one still, but
Yeah.
it's the end product that people expect. And I think people are jumping on it early because the way he played last season.
Last season, yeah.
If he'd had a good season last season, there wouldn't have been a
but
discussion
if we again, part of the balance is acknowledging the disruptions that occurred last season. There's a responsibility on the player ultimately. He has to hold responsibility, and even the conversation we're having now is making me think he can't be one of these players that is super dependent on who else is playing in order to really unlock him. He needs to be able to seize games and make things happen on his own. It can't be, he doesn't play well with Havertz, he doesn't play well with, he's missing the left 8. Declan Rice doesn't, he still needs to be able to do that, and that's more so what I'm kind of looking at for him or from him this season. And then, the Trossard thing is interesting because I think Trossard's performances last season were arse. Absolute arse. If I'm talking about the way that he played games. But Trossard caught loads of not blights. He put the ball in the net. So
facts.
a lot of his performance,
He was getting hooked quite a lot as well.
Performances got overlooked
last season. Yeah, he got hooked quite a lot last season.
You can do that when you score. A lot of what else you've done in the game gets overlooked, especially when your team win. Yeah, we won a lot of games. You know, he scored decisive goals for us or whatnot. I don't think there's much difference aside from the goals in their actual performance levels. But goals are the most important commodity in the game, obviously.
Yeah, because I think, you know, if you look at it, 18 goals from your left winger over the course of the season is a very good return, right? So I think
very good.
If they're sharing goals, right, so say, you know, they're sharing minutes, if we get another forward in, they're going to be sharing minutes with another forward as well. And, you know, we have to look at that position as in the whole, in a round, how much do we get from that left wing? It doesn't necessarily all need to come from Martinelli. It doesn't necessarily all need to come from Trossard. But when you're playing the game and you're the starting guy or you're coming off the bench, can you impact? You know, and I think last season Trossard did that to much greater effect than Martinelli. So, you know, I think the starting position now for Martinelli is, boy, your chain's been snatched. You need to snatch it back.
I think that's how even given the alley-oop. Being honest, if Martinelli posts 12 goals, plays the same way that he played last season, people are not even going to talk about him. Like, oh yeah, he could be out. But he scored 6. Trossard scored 12. People are still on Trossard. They're not on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that's true. That's fair.
And he would have got away with a poor season if he got 12 goals because people do love him. But you can't play poorly and not get us enough goals. You need to do one or the other.
Yeah, so later in the pod...
Or both, ideally.
So later in the pod, I was going to sort of do the predictions, but I think it's a good time to just do the Martinelli one right now, right? Because let's say Martinelli...
You should distinguish prediction and expectation.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. So, that's a good one.
I like that.
Yeah, so... Meticulous, yeah? You see the way he did it?
This is why we waited. Yeah. This is why we waited.
You guys didn't wait that long. Come on, chill out, man.
Half an hour is a long time, man.
Hold on, Chefs was on time.
Boy, let me not speak too much.
Here we go. See, I know the game, baby.
Boy, Germans are late, innit? That's what I'm saying. But I don't know what happened to you, bro.
Good thing I'm Nigerian today.
I'm a black Jew.
He's in the Infantino, yeah? Today I'm Nigerian.
Today I'm Nigerian, man.
But yeah, let's get back to it.
Well, yeah, so I want to do Martinelli. So let's say, this guy's starting 25 league games, right? 30 games, all competitions, this, that, and the other, right? What is a respectable expectation for him, and what do you predict that he will get, right? So, German, you started with the expectation and prediction, so you can go first.
Yeah, I think expectation I'd give a range because I feel like, and then
range is fine.
Prediction I'll just pick where I think he might land, and I'm just trying to guess. Expectation for me, he should be double figures. Playing in this team, double figures. Really, I think for me, good return is 12 to 15. The role he plays, similar to Trossard, is typically at the end of moves as well. So, like, even when we're looking at goals, I think he won't get penalties. It should be 12 to 15, really. Saka will have to probably look at penalties and non-penalties, but he's more of a creator. He's not always at the end of a move, I think, from what we've seen anyway from the team so far. So 12 to 15 should be the expectation. He should be in around that region. And I think he will score 12.
Yeah, fair. Shabs?
Yeah, Martinelli's 1 in 3 for me. I don't think he's shot better than 1 in 3 in his whole time. So for me, if he's playing 30 plus, I expect him to hit 11 goals. And I think that's my prediction for him too. Yeah.
It's a difficult one for me because, like all of you, I think we've all had similar reactions to Martinelli in pre-season. And I think a lot of how we're viewing Martinelli through the lens of last season. And I definitely want to see the first few games because we've got a somewhat difficult beginning to the season. And I want to see how he performs in those games. And I think there was an element of today where I feel like he was probably a little bit low on confidence as well. Because again, he's in those situations and it's coming off in the same way it did last season. My expectations, I would say, if I had to put a number on league goals, I'd say I need 14 league goals from my left winger. That puts him on par with Saka on in terms of how much you expect from his side, and that will be reflective in. I think if that is the case, I think we're going to win a title because it will be reflective of how we're able to build up an attack from both sides and be able to convert from both sides, and that will make us overall a more dangerous team. What I'm expecting is probably closer to 10 to 12, but. I think. Yeah, I'm very curious to see how these first 5 or 6 games go because I think that will really set the precedent on how the rest of the season is going to go.
Yeah, for sure. I don't disagree too much, to be honest. And I think expectation-wise, I do think Martinelli should be, pushing to be, one of our, if not our top scorer. Personally, I think, if you look at that front line, I think he is the best finisher that we have, right? Trossard, when he comes in, is probably the best finisher that we have as well, right? So in terms of the guys who are going to be playing regularly and getting on the end of chances, I need to see a lot more chances fall to Martinelli this season, just to your last point there, because I think there was a big functional issue with how we were, threatening teams last year. It was all down the right side. I don't expect that to be the same. So for me, I think an expectation for Martinelli needs to be, 13 plus. Yeah, 13 plus goals. And I would say, I do think he'll have a better season than last year. I do actually. So I'm going to say, I think he'll hit 15 goals again. So maybe optimistic, if based on the season he's just come off of. But boy, what can a fan not be at the start of the season if not optimistic? Yeah, so
I was about to say 25 all confident.
yeah,
But let me temper
well,
expectations.
they'll clip us up on this one, yeah. So yeah, we've got to be a little bit calmer. But
You know, the crazy thing is Martinelli played more minutes than Trossard last season.
yeah,
You know?
he did, yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise
400 more minutes.
Yeah, Martinelli was a starter. He was the starter last season. You know, I don't think
24 matches. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we can really, mince our words about his performances last year, because I think ultimately, if you rate the guy, you know that wasn't acceptable. You get what I'm saying? So it's not like some of these other fans where they sort of come out with excuses, this, that, and the other. I think this guy has the potential to be a real top class winger. Is what I think of this guy. Some others might disagree, but if that's what you think, and the season he gave us before 22-23, and he came up clutch a little bit in the running as well, then last season it's a down season, and you need to do better. So I'm hoping that he does. I think he's capable of doing better, and I fully expect him to do better than last season, because genuinely, if he has a repeat, then boy, stocks might have to be dropped. So just touching back on the game as well, clean sheet. I'm not sure how many clean sheets we've actually kept during the pre-season, to be honest. I think it was a 1-1 at Bournemouth, 2-1 United, 2-1 Liverpool, 4-1 Leverkusen. So I think this is actually our first clean sheet of pre-season, and I think that is actually. Did they start? Did all four of them start against Leverkusen? I think they did, and then we conceded after they came off, right? After he
Because Timber didn't play, did he? No.
Yeah, he didn't. So I do think this is going to be our starting back four. Zinchenko played really, really well in the minutes that he was on the pitch. So, Khalil, how do you feel about Zinchenko starting the season? Right.
I don't have a choice, do I? I feel exactly the same. No one. I don't think anyone questions Zinchenko's abilities on the ball. Like, nothing we saw today is new or takes us by surprise. We played a team that were camped in their own half, or we pushed them back into their own half, and he had a lot of time on the ball, and he does what he can do. I'm just wary of when the season starts, and typically, even the teams that we may camp in, even the teams that we may force back into their half, they'll have levels of transitional threat, and we've seen how Zinchenko tends to react, and that's always been my concern. It was nice to see Calafiori get some minutes. I have an expectation that when he gets up to speed, that he will become our sort of default starting left-sided, whether left back or left centre back. I think him and Gabriel, however you want to call it, they'll be on that side together. It was, I think I know I've got my Zinchenko agenda, and I'm not going to drop it anytime soon. Is the summary that you're looking for? Again, the margins are so small, and we've seen how Zinchenko, especially in pressure situations, that's the other thing that bothers me. It seems to be that pressure gets to him when he's supposed to be a leader. And that is...
We're going to have to toss it today, man. We ain't gonna...
You don't think pressure gets to him?
Huh?
You don't think pressure gets to him?
I think, pressure gets to him, people say, right? The most high-pressure game that we played since he's been here has probably been the Anfield away, when we played 2-2. Him and Partey probably were the only players that were composed on that day.
Is that the one where you got megged by Trent and then you got hooked?
Last minute.
Yeah, he got
Straight
megged.
away.
But he was not...
Eighth.
I don't think the pressure got to him. He was literally fantastic for like 60 minutes of that game. So...
Would you not say that his errant decision-making is linked to the fact that he feels pressure? Because I think...
No, I don't think it's pressure. I think is... And Leroy says this a lot. The guy is just too confident. He's like, my touch is the best. I know what I can do. I can go past. And he then gets... he gets like sloppy in a way. So he underestimates, I think, if it's not Salah playing, I think I remember Madueke as well getting a goal on him. It's like he just underestimates certain players. It's just like, if it's not Salah or...
Do you know what it is,
Just
right?
quickly, though, I think that's compounded by fitness as well. Because for me, he's not a player that can last 90 minutes. So it's that arrogance and confidence, whatever word you want to use to attribute to it, but it's that super confident ability on the ball. I don't need to. I can kind of cut corners. I can cheat the game a little.
But the thing is,
and I think it's
the problem is
compounded
it
by
does
his
work
fitness.
a lot of times for him.
It does work, but when we start seeing 65 minutes plus, he's cooked. He's cooked, man. And then that's where the errors start to kind of creep into his game more so because he's tired, he can't see it out, and he makes stupid little mistakes.
On
like
the
that,
point,
man.
on the point around pressure though as well is that when
And
you're-
another pressure, like at City, the best games he played was when they were in the high
Yeah.
stakes game against the likes of PSG, against the likes of Real Madrid. Like he played fantastic games and knockout pressure games. When the stakes are high, he typically can exert his skills better. When the stakes are low, he's like he's more of a
He's more of a bozo.
yeah, he's more of a bozo. He's more of a
Bozo
gets calamity than
activated,
the,
do you know,
Look at what he was doing against Villa.
those are the games you're like, I don't think he should.
the thing about pressure is right. It obviously it brings out more of who you are when you're under pressure, right? And I think in certain scenarios where Arsenal at Anfield, to use that example, right? Arsenal were under the cosh. Yeah, Zinchenko's not the guy that you want on the pitch defensively when you're under the cosh, right? I think to an extent, to your point, Dan, like if Arsenal are getting the ball's coming to Zinchenko. We're under the pressure. You need him to alleviate, and it's a balance to be had, right? But in that scenario, this is a high pressure game. You're 1v1 with Salah. You're 1v1 with Trent. If you're not good defensively, that's going to come out more. The more they're bombarding that side of the pitch. Do you get what I'm saying? Because if you remember that game at Anfield, we were getting crashed on. I think Liverpool had like over 4 XG, right? And at that point, you need to make a decision as a manager and say, okay, do we want this guy on the pitch to help us alleviate this pressure so when we get the ball we can keep it, or do we say that, look, it doesn't matter what we're trying to do here, we're not getting the ball, I need someone on who can defend, right? And I think it got to that point where it probably went too far over to the other side, and he probably should have come off about 10 minutes before that goal was conceded. But then on the other, and this is my issue with Zinchenko, is that I think every other player that we have is a defender first in our defence, right? This is what I'm talking about. Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, Kivior, Tomiyasu, Calafiori now, all of these men, defenders. Yeah, people talk about Arsenal playing the 4 centre-backs, this, that and the other. Zinchenko is the one outlier there where he came up as a midfielder, Arteta decided to move him to left back at Man City. And then, so now when you're talking about pressure situations, you bring out more of yourself. So now we're chasing a title now. Zinchenko tries to do more of the stuff that he came up doing. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm on the halfway line. Let me try take on Leon Bailey. He's tackled me. What we've conceded, we're 1-0 down at Villa Park.
But his role in the team is taking risks. Yeah,
it is.
If you as a footballer take risks, you put yourself up for more criticism. The players that don't take risks, people are, he's played well. No, he hasn't. He ain't done a damn thing. He just played the ball sideways and to his teammate that he can see. Football is about taking the right risk. He doesn't always take the right risk. I concede that, but ultimately you need players taking risks. Otherwise, the game doesn't break open. So when he does it right, it is surgical. When he doesn't, he needs to be hooked.
Yeah.
And that's why I think people need some more balance.
And just to conclude my point, I think last season the balance was off.
Yeah.
Right. The balance was
But he still had loads of good games.
Yeah,
which people forget now.
Yeah, the balance was way off. I think there was just too many scenarios where I was literally just losing my head. I'm watching this. I'm watching it. I remember there's
Wolves at home.
Wolves at home was
Wolves at home
crazy.
Liverpool away.
Wolves at home.
But you man lose your head quick though,
No. German.
You man lose your head quick. You and Sharon are crazy, bro.
German.
The passion is crazy, man.
Especially that first half of the season where we were maybe going 1-0 up, 2-0 up. So there was still that jeopardy in the game. And then I don't know what this guy...
Chelsea away. He was smoking crack, bro. He was legit.
Chelsea away. I'm trying to remember.
Chelsea away
was
the 2-2 draw. He was smoking crack. The first.
A couple man was smoking crack that day.
Good. David Ryan.
Let's get it right.
David Ryan was on bullshit.
But Chelsea away, the first minute, this guy's first action, he tries to dribble out of his box against Conor Gallagher, bro. Like, come on, man. Like, no. Like,
Who is Conor Gallagher in this game? Why do I have to be scared, bro?
No, but it's like
Why?
Fuck
that, man.
Because in a tussle,
in the first
in that situation, yeah, it's the wrong thing to do.
Conor Gallagher.
If he pulls it off,
Okay, why? Okay,
if he
hold
pulls
on.
it off,
Okay,
The one thing
but
he
it's
can
the
do is
exact
chase
same
down a
thing.
man, and you're giving him the opportunity to do that.
But let me
that's
ask you,
the
why is it
thing. If he
wrong
pulls
minute
it
1
off,
compared
if
to
he-
minute 50? Fuck that, man.
But if he-
The
but if he
opportunity
plays-
presents itself.
If he plays it, carries it past him,
Exactly.
and picks out an
It's
amazing pass.
the action
everyone's
wasn't
wonderful.
It was an
But
incomplete
do you need to
full
take that-
action.
do you need to take that
Execution,
risk in minute
though.
1, though? What's the point?
And this is it. This is what it comes back to. I completely agree with German Dan's point about the risks. Of course, Arteta was kettled. I completely agree.
Manager
with
lost
the-
it too, brother.
I completely agree with the point about taking risks. I mitigate that with is how and when he chooses to apply those risks. Now,
I agree with that.
leopard
100%.
can't change leopard skin.
agree with
Yeah,
that,
this is who he is. Yeah, and I think it comes back to that as well. This is really who he is. He was playing attacking mid when City first signed him, and then right wing, and then left wing sometimes, and then further back in the set. So when he plays for his country, he's a much more advanced player. So this is who he really wants to be. I don't have an issue with him doing those things to break the game open. And his passing is amazing. Yeah, it's when he's neglecting his primary responsibilities.
It's not his
the
primary
risks that he
responsibility,
takes
though, I think.
off the ball. That's my issue with him. The risks that he takes when he's not in possession of the football. I
Okay.
think, and I think the game against Liverpool pre-season the other day, I think he's tracking back. He lost Salah way too easy for me for the goal.
You want him to be
I don't want him
glued
to be
onto
toe to,
more
I don't
Salah.
want him to be toe to toe with
Okay.
Salah, but
He's
also
not-
let's respect this ain't the same Salah from 3-4 seasons ago either.
But even Amad Diallo, the guys is basically showing him into the box, if I remember. Remember there was
when
that
was
one
this?
in the... Did he not play?
2-1.
Yeah, the 2-1.
Okay.
There was that bit of time when Diallo's basically just dribbling. And he used to
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
Luke,
like
Luke Shaw
Sheffield-
defending. I'm not gonna
Jockey, just
defend that.
holding L2.
Just-
It was
in the
forever-
halfway
I'm not gonna
line.
defend that, I'm not gonna defend
Come
that.
on, man. It's like, yeah.
But what I'm
yeah.
saying is, all the defenders, everyone in the first phase that we got, he takes the most risk because it's his responsibility to take the most risk.
But this is why I'm tending
It's
to
the same as
disagree with
Calafiori.
that.
People are going to be like, oh, Calafiori needs to protect. No, it's his role. His job is to take risks, fam.
But would you not argue that Calafiori is a better 1v1?
Of course, he's a
And
different
that is
player.
one of the things
but
that
he's probably
Arteta
not as good
stresses
as
the most.
Zinchenko on the ball. He's got different qualities. But
And that's fine if we've got multiple modes of progression. This isn't like 20 what's his first season, 22-23, where Zinchenko was like the guy, get him the ball in the first phase, he inverts and he's the one that
boy,
finds
he
passes.
looks like he's bringing it back, my boy.
Yeah, I
He looks like he's bringing that shit back.
I'm not comfortable with that at all, man.
I think this is a big season for that left side, to be honest. It's
Yeah.
a big season for the left side.
Yeah,
I think
the whole
you're
left.
looking at Martinelli trying to get his checks back. Zinchenko, he's
Some
under
people
pressure
might die,
because
yeah.
look, Timber, he's a jugger, real jugger. He can play. He can really play, So you look at Calafiori, he's just coming for big money. Arteta, when he pays big money for players, they play.
They're gonna play.
They play. So he's paid for Zinchenko before as well. So that's one of his guys. But this is now a prediction I'm just adding. Yeah. How many
Oh, just off the fly, yeah?
off the fly, yeah? How many starts for Zinchenko in the league?
In the league.
How would I know, brother?
No.
my
Let's
God.
let's nail it to the
Listen,
mark,
this is
man.
what they're trying to
I
do
think
to
he's
me,
gonna
man.
get 13.
30
No,
Starts.
no, it would be
Yeah.
more than that. That would be more than that.
Yeah.
I think,
I think
Starts.
he's gonna get 13 starts. Yeah.
I think he's getting.
I think
18.
Timber's going to get that 13 starts, 13, 15 starts, because I think it's the way he's coming back now with the injury
So
stuff.
out of Timber,
I don't-
Calafiori, and
I don't-
Zinchenko, who's getting the most starts?
And
of those three?
Tomiyasu, when he's
I think Calafiori is going to play more games. 100%.
Hey, forget that guy, man.
Calafiori's, yeah. All right, to me, Tomiyasu's dusted. Timber.
He just
Timber
said
will
today
play.
it's going to be some time for Tomiyasu. He just said
Seriously?
Tomiyasu's
just
dusted.
agreed, yeah.
But let's forget. Let's
Why did we give him a new contract?
let's not waste
Let me
valuable
not get into
minutes.
that. Let me
Yeah,
not get
Is it your money? Is it your money?
Let's not waste valuable minutes discussing him. Timber, I think, is going to feature right back. I think that's where we're going to see. Yes, he can, but I think with Calafiori and Zinchenko, primarily it's going to be them two competing for the left back slot. At right back, outside of Ben White, we're light. So for me, the logic, and I think that's kind of where in pre-season games he played there this season, didn't he? Yeah, I think that's where we'll see him, and then the centre backs is the centre backs. That's going to be them. I think Calafiori is going to be the primary left back this season.
I agree.
I think so.
Once he gets
I
up
think
to
that's
speed.
what's going to happen. I think Zinchenko,
How many
it will
apps?
be
How many apps? How many starts?
for Calafiori.
For Zinchenko.
Oh, for Zinchenko, I said 13.
13.
I think he'll get 13.
I think you get like 17, 18. I think you'll get a fair amount.
Yeah, I think it's something like that.
But I think
Yeah.
Calafiori, you're looking at 24, 25.
I think you lot,
Yeah, I think it's
you lot
something like that.
You
I
lot
agree with
forgetting
Will.
that this Arteta don't like to move around his back line either. Too tough.
He's
He likes to have a fixed
I'm
back
surprised
line.
even Jesus only had one more start than Trossard, so they played similar minutes.
Mm.
So everyone gets actually a good amount of minutes, good amount of starts, good amount of sub.
Not everyone.
Who don't?
Brother.
Who?
He
Name
don't do
names,
the
bro.
He doesn't apply their minute share.
What, Fabio Vieira?
Proportionately.
Oh,
No,
fuck that guy,
forget
man.
Fabio Vieira. No, I'm talking about our
Are we talking
lost
about guys
son.
who have left the club?
I'm talking about our lost son now. You know, I'm talking about other guys. Yeah,
Some for a some, and I told you we had to
other
make the
guys.
sacrifice, man.
Yeah, that's fine.
Listen,
And both are fine.
Nah, but
And stop saying you lost. Like, by the way, yeah, if Smith Rowe is balling, we haven't lost. The debate is still alive. I need him to play.
Let me just say this.
What is he winning
Let me just
exactly?
say this. Arteta,
What do you mean? Was he winning?
No, what is Smith Rowe winning?
Is
by
Mason
playing?
Mount playing?
Let me hear what you
Better end up on the Iron Throne, yeah. Otherwise, he's a poor man Stanis Baratheon.
No, you understand?
You're
What's Stanis-
taking a
Stanis'
piss.
brother. He's Renly.
Renly.
He's Renly, Baratheon. If we don't end up on that, he's Renly. Yeah.
Crazy. It's
Yeah, but Stannis ain't really got close to the throne like that.
Yeah,
Like, he came close a couple
Stannis
times,
was
man.
pretending he had the biggest army in that. But
Yeah, Stanis had soldiers, but Stanis' claim weren't legit like that. I'll be honest.
Stannis,
Yeah.
He sacrificed too much, man. Too much.
Yeah, man. Yeah, aye, for real. For real.
I think that's enough on the Leon game, to be honest, because the game for me wasn't that exciting. I much preferred the Leverkusen performance, but I think we are in a good place coming into the season. I think we look strong at the back. I think I was liking some of our patterns. I think one of the key things that I've seen this pre-season is that the left-hand side looks much better than it did last season. So hopefully that continues into the season proper. So let's get into the prediction part of this podcast because, guys, I'm just going to stick it on you and ask the question now. Khalil, are we winning the league?
When I arrived here,
Brother, yes or no?
Yes or no? hey, German, look at his stuff.
Yeah.
His baggage. He's talking about when I arrived here. When I arrived
I
here.
see the trainers are clean. I know this guy.
When I arrived here. Go on, bro.
when I arrived here, I was gonna say no, we're not gonna win the league. But then I logged onto Twitter and I seen a video of Lotto in a 04-05 home kit. Singing some song, and I thought, if this is not motivation enough,
Lotto.
Big
Yeah.
Lotto.
yeah, big Lotto.
I don't know
Big
who
Lotto,
got, I don't
not
know
the-
who got her that
Not
shirt,
the little
but
one.
They did well.
Yeah, anyway,
Hey,
That's her name, fam. I'm
That's
just
her name,
saying what the
innit?
name is, fam.
No, I know. That's why I added the extras. Yeah, not the little one. Big loud, not the little one.
if
Yeah,
that
yeah,
isn't
go
motivation enough for the boys to go and pick up at least a league, maybe a Champions League, I don't know what it is. So I'm saying that Arsenal are winning the league in 2025.
Okay.
And if we don't win the league, then Arteta out. We'll start having those conversations.
Yeah, fair play, Shabs.
Yeah, man. City's gonna. I don't think City are. For me, they got chinks in their armor, and they're older, they're weaker. It could change between now and the end of the window, depending on what they do. But yeah, KDB, he's not gonna come and still do the same bullshit for another season. No way. If he's still there. Yeah. Haaland, other teams will cope better with him, I think. He'll still score crazy. I think the timing, that pincer movement, they're slipping, I think, and we're up. So I think it's the right time.
They haven't done too much madness in the transfer market as well. So if they're going to go in with their sort
Yet.
of core guys, I said, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
So if it continues like this, then I think I could definitely believe that there may be a little bit of
It
slippage.
is interesting with Man City because I think Pep said at the start of the window that he's not expecting them to do,
Yeah.
loads of business. Maybe that's linked to the 115 charges. Who knows?
Boy.
Who knows? Players they're trying to negotiate for, asking for relegation clauses and whatnot. So, City might not be willing to do that. But yeah, I do think because I look at Man City's strengths, right? I think Kyle Walker is a major strength for them at the back. I think they do have good 1v1 defenders at the back. I don't think they're as strong as our players 1v1. And I think Kyle Walker was a bit of a cheat code for them, just with his recovery pace. I think he's finished.
Yeah, he can't keep that up, man. He can't keep that up.
I think he's absolutely cooked.
He's 33, going 34 now, isn't it?
Yeah,
he'll be 34 before the season end.
And I think Rodri is absolutely peak as well. But
what's happened? What was Rodri's injury? I can't remember.
He got injured.
Did he get injured?
Didn't he get injured in the final? Europa in the European Championship.
I don't think I heard anything about that.
I think that's a minor one.
He didn't play yesterday, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, he came off injured in the final. I didn't follow it because obviously the more pressing matters. Rodri can't do another season of 60-something games.
70 games
Yeah. You can't.
So I'll be watching.
They need an understudy for him, 100%.
I'll back us to win the league, regardless of what Man City did, anyways. Though, to be honest.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're kind of listing things that we're hoping to happen. We have no guarantee of it.
Yeah.
It's about us.
You know,
like how,
we do deal in copium though.
Yeah, I think that's
nice healthy dose to start the season.
A nice sort of thing to bubble and monitor. But I think regardless, I think we have enough to win the league this season, irrespective of what City do.
What they do.
The reasons I say this is I think we found it took us a little while to find the formula last season, and I think we ended the second half of the season. I think we really found the formula, right? And that was with still parts, malfunctioning a little bit, like we've discussed on the left-hand side. Certain performances there weren't quite up to scratch, and I think we have enough tools now with the Calafiori signing, potentially with the Marino signing. I think we've kind of shored up certain areas. One place I would like us to still shore up is the front line, just to add one extra profile. I think we're missing there, just additional speed. Whether that's a striker, whether that's a winger, I think that's key for us to add. But
I need speed, but I need the trickery as well, man. You have to be able to beat.
I don't need just speed. I need controlled speed, my boy.
Yeah, because there's plenty of them.
Do you want to get into a big talk?
I'm not right now. I'm not asking for Anthony Gordon.
I hear what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
But you look at someone like Garnacho, right? Yesterday, who I think is not the most technical. Obviously, he's got decent ability, I would say, and he's really threatening. Right? He's willing to just run in behind. That just damages teams. Garnacho off the bench late. Yeah, you saw what that did to Man City there. He almost flipped the game on its head, put a chance on a plate for Rashford, and then obviously scores the goal to put them 1-0 up. They lost the game.
It does,
eventually.
but not 90% of teams won't play against us like that. That's what, like, you see, like these teams that set up against us low block, and the speed absolutely brings a different dynamic to the team and our attack, but it's certain game states. I need players who can just unlock it. Doesn't matter if you lot are camped. Yes, you're quick if you need to be, but you can face up your man and just kill him.
I hear that point.
That's what I need.
I personally think I don't think we have a problem with deep blocks. I don't think we have an issue facing them. I think most of the season, the games where we play deep blocks, we blam them teams. Do you get what I'm saying? I think our main issue last season was the teams that actually played with a slightly higher line. Right, you look at Porto, you look at Aston Villa, you look at Fulham. They weren't playing against us with deep blocks. The Man City game as well, away. Bayern Munich. They weren't. None of these teams played against us with a deep block. I think deep blocks aren't really an issue. Teams that press us aren't really an issue. I think it's that ability to stretch teams, right? That Havertz did to good effect last year against Villa, that Martinelli did to good effect in certain games as well. But we didn't have that, final action to make it count. And I think we need one more of those stretchers, so that if Martinelli's not having a good game, if Havertz is not, at the races with his finishing, that we have someone else that we can turn to still provide that stretching in behind.
I'm going to ask you lot on record right now, yeah. £25 million offer for Mikhailo Mudryk. What are you saying?
I'm telling you to leave the pod right now, man.
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
What are you saying?
I
know what your answer was.
I
knew. I stand on business, man.
This is a good example of how
These man can't kill me, brother.
This is the prime example of how having.
I found a bit I'm clipping.
Oh, you're a punk, huh?
Hey, wait for Khalil to answer first before we know what to clip.
The fact that we are discussing Mikhailo Mudryk in 2024, it's evidence to show that how having blue eyes and blonde hair can get you far in life. Because this guy has done absolutely nothing.
Man said,
Nothing.
What are you saying? A German supporting the Iron Race.
Hey,
the Aryan race
you
one.
man said it, not me.
The Aryan race one.
You guys are talking about speed.
Listen, you man said it, not me.
You
Control
said
speed.
Control speed.
It's speed can be controlled. That's the
Oh,
thing.
can it now?
Goodness, man.
Listen, Arteta, I told you, man, before. Arteta's the winger whisperer. If he don't fix Martinelli, then he needs to find someone else to fix.
Why do we have to fix guys? Why can't we bring in
Why?
guys
Why
that can
not, man? I like fixing shit.
Listen,
man.
you know,
I'm an engineer.
Nah,
at
Arsenal
heart,
fans,
even though I
fans
ain't
have
studied
gone-
that shit, fam.
Arsenal fans have gone through too many years of just like destruction and mental health issues because I don't know how to describe it.
Okay,
Like,
so
we are on the
Who
verge.
are we signing?
Hey, I just wanted to sprinkle a
Who are
little
we signing?
chaos
The
into this
speed,
pod.
the speed thing.
Just a little chaos.
Right.
I won.
The speed.
But
Who are we
would
signing?
Would you take a Dingra before you take Mudryk?
Yeah,
Yes,
probably
yes,
would.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Because I'm saying,
I would
There's
take-
so many players. that
Okay,
you can
I
list.
will take
How many?
I will take Adam Lookman before I take Mudryk.
no, he's not got the top sleeves.
Now,
He
do you know
doesn't-
why?
he
Do you know
doesn't have
why?
the
Do you know
top
why?
sleeves. That's
The
what
amount
I'm
of
saying. He
times-
doesn't have the top sleeve.
Now, let me tell you why. The amount of times,
Much better player.
right? Whoever the left winger,
We just talked about speed.
Nah, whoever the left winger is getting that ball
I'm not
in
taking-
space and being able from a standing start to beat your fullback is a key thing that Martinelli just has not demonstrated that he can do. Now, I'm not saying that.
Wake up, because
I'm
this guy's doing a lot right now.
No, no.
Listen.
I'm not saying.
Listen.
Yeah, you better wake up, Cook.
Hey, you need to write notes, man. Hey, timestamp.
How?
Yeah,
not true.
yeah. Now we cooking.
Martinelli from a standing start,
Now you-
cooking his fullback on a regular basis. I don't see it, you
He
know.
does that though. He does that, though.
Standing start.
When I think of Bayern Munich away, right, I think amount of times that Martinelli got the ball and it just wasn't going nowhere. And if you want to be in those moments where you have to make something happen from scratch. There's nothing about your left 8 has to do this and your fullback has to do this. From a standing start, can you beat your fullback? This is why I also like Nico Williams because I think if he gets the ball 2 feet, now is he going to have that in behind threat?
Okay, now we're gonna pod today, fam. We're gonna fucking pod today. I tell you this right now. We're gonna pod today. How many Nico Williams games have you seen, fam? Outside of the Euros, don't put them in 90-minute games. How many games have you seen?
Every single Nico Williams games I've ever seen has been for Spain. I got to be completely honest.
Oh my days! What's going on?
No, but I say Spain even outside the Euros because the first time I even noticed Nico Williams, right, was when he was playing for Spain and just like random qualifiers that you see turn on. So for Bilbao,
But these games, they're usually lower quality. They are. These games
and
are not.
Obviously,
They're never
qualifiers
as competitive.
well, and qualifiers is David versus Goliath. Most of them. Do you get what I'm saying?
but is that not going to be slightly more reflective of the games that are also going to play though?
We're just talking about Bayern Munich, though. That's
No,
the.
as in teams that are going to be sat up against Spain. They're going to give Spain 80% of the ball. It's on Spain to break it down. It's not like he's getting into those games and he's struggling. Of course, I know it's going to be a difference in quality, but I was more referring to the sort of game states that he'd be playing for Spain would model a bit Arsenal's. Now, quality is obviously a separate thing. My thing is, you got to pick, right? Either your left winger has to be able to sort of beat guys off the dribble, right? Or he's got to be a constant in-behind threat, which Martinelli, he seemed to be between the two. He's providing an in-behind threat, but his decision-making, his execution isn't there. And I don't believe he can beat his fullback 1v1 from a standing start enough to justify, the other things that he's been struggling with. Now, as a finisher, yeah, Martinelli, if in Nico Williams' best season, whatever that is, and Martinelli's best season, Martinelli will outscore Williams absolutely 100%. But I'm just thinking about in those games, the bigger games, whatever games where the game state is in the balance, who can we give the ball to? Usually it's Saka, right? Saka, Odegaard, and Ben White, they're the ones that usually doing their pass rotations. But more so, you're giving it to Odegaard, you're giving it to Saka to make something happen. We don't really have that version of that on the other side of our attack, in my opinion.
No.
Martinelli, we've just spoke about how we need the left 8 for Martinelli to do this, and we need
which is why we're talking
just
about
to get him-
which is why I'm saying not the speed is not enough.
The reason why I disagree with that though is that I think if we go to 22-23, we could give the ball to Martinelli to make stuff happen. Like, the best version of Martinelli, you absolutely can give him the ball to create. or to score?
To create or to score?
To create and score.
He
Because
did
if
both.
you look- if he
Did both.
does do both.
But
And
the best version of him
the
was
best-
that season.
the
Let's
best- and
let's.
That's the thing. The best
No,
version.
he was excellent that season. I agree.
Yeah, and
but
the best version of him, he, I think, he had more expected assists than Odegaard that season, right? So it's like I look at this. He only got 5 assists, but his expected assist was like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So I look at this and I say, I hear your point though, because I think Nico Williams, obviously I think he's a better dribbler than Martinelli. I'm not questioning that at all. So from the standing start stuff, I hear it. When you're going to be,
But I don't hear it if you haven't seen it often enough, because I've seen the player a couple of times now. I don't think like he's. I've seen Leao, for example. You know, I've watched over 20 games of Leao, 90 minutes. Leao is I'm gonna stand you up and try to jug you.
Yeah.
That's
why I
his
liked
game.
him to a certain extent.
But I think he's got a lot of talent, Leao, for example, but he doesn't do the off the ball work. The end product, a bit questionable. So for me, if you'd say Leao, standing start and you want that, I'm gonna be like, okay, fair play. At least that is like his main game, right? Whereas Leao, Nico Williams, I feel like he's more of a playmaking winger. He's like doing combinations in around the box,
Combos,
coming into the half space,
Yeah.
rather than going out. He's not Doku who's like standing.
Yeah.
If you want that, Kingsley Coleman is there. Get him on loan.
I have watched Nico, and you lot will see from the chat. Go search because you lot love to do searches. They'll
Yeah,
search you,
this
Nico
Chubbs guy is
Williams
just
mix.
he put £100 into underrated and he's buying every stock, man.
No,
Get out of here, man. I'm tired of you, fam. Rick, I see
No, you-
a Dingra, yeah. I'm like, oh, this is a player I like. I've spoken about him.
Oh, listen,
I went underrated that. I see he's got.
I'm lead investor for
What's
everything.
going on?
This
Yeah,
guy
I'm
is going
lead
through the
investor for
racks in there.
everything.
Chubb said,
I'm the
fuck the
lead
Rolly
investor
this
for
year, I'm just going dominant underrated.
No, real talk. I've got
fingers in many pies.
No,
yeah?
I've got. Listen, you won't find players over me. You won't.
I've got a couple, don't
You
play
got
with
that?
me.
You got that FM?
Nah, don't play with me,
I've
fam.
got the genius scout, bro. He's going to find them. I've got
a couple, don't play with me,
No,
man.
I've got numbers in underrated itself rather than the players. That's why.
There is one thing I want to add on this topic, though. When I advocate for bringing in, let's say, Nico Williams or whatever, my thing is, it's not even so much that I feel as if he's a definitively better player than Martinelli in every aspect. It goes back to what I was saying at the beginning: is the variation in attack. Right at 65 minutes, you're bringing someone off. Who are you bringing on? True points. And I don't think we have that variation in place.
Even though
currently.
Trossard scored goals last season, I hate that sub.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it. And
so-
Because you're not gonna get.
Fuck
You're not
your
gonna get
feelings,
any,
brother.
No,
What
but-
is the functionality?
No, you're not gonna get anything from
The
it
thing is-
apart from
it's not even
saves he
about-
scores.
It's not even about my feelings, yeah. It's more the profile of player.
Yeah.
I don't want to bring. I don't like bringing off a fast winger.
Yeah, for
or a
slow guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
late in the game.
late in the
There's
game-
no point.
Late in the game,
Why?
physically, just test them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Bro, like, I'm
No, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you.
100%.
Yeah,
I'm with
sometimes
Coops.
football-
100%.
Sometimes football is actually so easy.
It's simple.
You man are killing me.
sometimes football is actually
no,
simple.
I'm
Just
100%.
run, man.
No,
Just run.
Yeah, but
Forrest, run.
Listen, man's been having to tussle for 60, 65 minutes, yeah, and then he's thinking, oh yeah, I'm getting some respite. He's coming off. Nah,
do you know what it
another
is?
speed demon is
Do you know what
coming
it is?
on
Do
the
you know what it is?
pitch,
Do you know
bro.
when- you know when
He's
I'm
stressing
playing-
you.
Mush- yeah?
You know I'm playing for TLF, yeah? I'm playing for TLF. I've been having a tough day. I'm having a tough day. They got
We play
some
centre-back?
or fullback, yeah?
Or right back.
So they got a lighty winger on one side.
You know what that
They got
means,
a lighty
bro?
winger on one
That
side.
means
He's
one
been
thing.
running, yeah? And listen, every set piece, I'm elbowing this guy. Don't make me run, bro. Don't make me run, bro. Yeah? And then
You're
they
such
sub-
an uncle,
they
fam.
sub- they sub him off, yeah? Listen, I'm turning 32 this month, yeah? They'll sub him on for some 18-year-old their second light, yeah? And this guy just comes on and starts sprinting, and I'm thinking, fuck.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Tops being like, yo, my hamstrings, they're gonna pop.
Yeah,
Fam,
you gotta
you're
cover-
taking the piss.
Cover,
Yeah,
hey, you
no,
gotta
listen,
cover the
I'm
space.
telling you, man.
Cover the space.
I'm telling
What do you mean? Hold on. We don't have it. You still got Nelson stocks, brother. What's going on here?
Hey,
Wait.
Is that not the light skinned winger with the pace? Is that not him?
As you should listen, I advise you to not to speak here and now. Save it for TG Call.
Listen.
oh yeah, that's calm.
Save it for
Listen,
TG Call.
What do you mean
German,
save it?
German,
Listen,
yeah?
I'm gonna be
I'm
representing
just
myself.
hypocrite.
Don't
You
worry
might not
about
already
it.
know what I'm on,
Listen,
fam.
German, I didn't play all last season, yeah. I went to play 40 addicts, yeah. Quick 7-a-side. Listen, the way my legs weren't moving.
What with Chills?
Then no, this is before I went
Okay.
to Chills. Yeah. So then the way my legs were moving, Chills asked me the next week, "Are you signing up this season?" I said, "There's no way." I can't do it.
Nah,
I can't do it.
fucking hell.
You gotta hang
I
on
can't
up,
do
man.
it. I can't do it, man. Xabi Alonso meme. The boots are over my.
He's over, man. He's a day
It's
over.
over,
Nah,
bro.
nah,
It's
nah.
over,
You need to
bro.
bring her back, man.
It's
Come on,
over,
man.
bro.
Shit,
So maybe
man.
next season after I get in shape.
No, you need to
So
put the
you
work in now.
understand more than anyone the importance,
That's what
yeah,
I'm saying.
of boom.
Hey,
We need more variation. Straight up.
We
Straight
do,
up.
and it's variation across that whole front line. That's
But
someone
you might not
who's
talk.
dynamic
You might not
enough.
talking about variation. You're talking about replication. Variation is Trossard.
For
He's
me-
a different profile to what's just been on.
No, for me, I think I see Martinelli as the speed without the finesse. Martinelli is quick with less control for me. He's more dangerous in the box. And really, where I
I think
want to
he's
see
the
him
most
do
dangerous
damage
when there's space.
is-
That's what I
Yeah,
think.
all right. He's most dangerous. He's most dangerous when there's space. He's more dangerous when he's in the box, though. Yeah, yeah. Outside of that, when he has to kind of tussle down that wing, for me, I kind of understand what Khalil was saying, and it's mixed bag, man.
Okay,
and not every
I hear you.
dribbler can
I hear
do.
it.
Not everyone can kill their man
But
every
if
time.
you
That's
ask
not what
me,
I'm expecting
okay, so
from him.
let me give you a scenario. Yeah, 65 million on Nico Williams. I don't care what the release cost. It's just a fake
Yeah.
scenario. 65 million on Nico Williams or 65 on Eze. Who are you spending the money on? Because let's test this variation theory for real.
Listen though. Listen.
Nah, I ain't no listening yet. Who are you
Listen, though.
buying, bro? Because I know where my money's going.
I'll back Eze though.
Yeah, Eze.
Yeah,
Eze
it's tough
better
for me.
quality.
It goes against everything I've just said.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly.
But,
Yeah.
but
Exactly.
of the available players on the market, I think Eze, he changes things for us.
Yeah.
In a different
Yeah.
way. You get what
So,
I'm
it's,
saying?
Eze has less
so what I'm
jeopardy
saying
as
is
well.
it's not really about variation or it's just about quality of player. Because right now we have variation and replication. We've got Trossard, we've got Nelson. It's just not the right quality. That's my point.
But if
the quality's there-
if you ask me Neto or Eze, and I think Eze is a better player than Neto right now as well, I probably would have said Neto. Though.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah, you're smoking crack. You're smoking.
No, but it's true. It's true.
Why?
Because it's if we're talking about for the wing, for one
Going
of
in-
our wide positions.
Going into this
Yeah,
season,
I would
Bukayo
have.
Saka is the only one that you can absolutely say with 100% confidence he can replicate what he's done already. Now,
Yeah.
this is not even taking shots.
Hey, you already know.
This is not.
I'm there.
No, I'm not taking shots. I'm not. I'm not
What does that mean? What
I'm
does
not
that
taking
mean,
shots at
brother?
Havertz.
Man done-
I'm not
man
taking
done
shots at
Mickey
Havertz,
Mouse.
but it's
can do
it's
it
an
again,
objective
baby.
reality.
You can-
Because Havertz was a season of two halves. Again, I'm not expecting him to be trash like he was at the beginning of last season. But let's be honest, Saka is the one attacker that out of all of us,
if
we
we're
can all
looking
agree
at the
he's
radius
only one
of
we can
goals
relate in.
scored, is actually Trossard, Havertz, and Saka, who've in around the radius of goals that are scored before. So what Havertz is like 3 goals off or something like that. I think Saka is in around the same. I think Trossard is in around the same. So we've got 3. It's not just one.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily talking just about goals. I'm talking about the overall performance and goals. Saka is the one that we can all agree we expect him to do what he's done and probably improve.
I've got a
upon.
couple more.
I agree. No, I agree.
And in our
I
front
agree.
line, honestly,
I
he's the
agree
only
with that.
one.
I agree 100%. We've debated it. We don't know what we're gonna get from Martinelli. We hope
We don't know.
that we get more of
Yeah.
what we
I'm not
we'll
arguing
get.
about that. I'm saying
Yeah.
overall. And
Yeah.
that
We-
front line is not just 4 players as well. Odegaard, he's part of that front line. in my
Okay,
opinion.
I don't include Odegaard in
I
that, but
consider
again,
Odegaard more so. Yeah.
So
I'm
performances.
midline.
I hear Khalil's point now. I hear Khalil's point. Like, there needs to
Saka's the only world class forward we got. So, or near enough world class forward we got. So that's fine, but I think people are too worried. I'm not that worried.
we know you're not worried
I'm not-
because
I'm
you
not
come here
worried.
every week and you tell us that all is fine. Even
Worried
though
ain't the
Edu-
word.
You man are worried in the group chat, man.
Nothing. Worried ain't the word, though.
In our
I'm not
front line.
worried. It's
Understand, when it came to doing the prediction, I said I genuinely think we're gonna win the league. Like, so how can you say I'm worried?
yeah. Worried ain't
dead
the
in
word.
the eye, no?
Worried ain't the word though. Worried ain't the. I don't agree with worried ain't the word. But for me, I've scanned. Look at our existing attacking players right now.
Home insurance,
Right
yeah,
now.
does that mean
But
you're
look-
worried about home?
What
So
the? Look at his uncle.
Look at our players.
We
Off.
are trying to just shore up the team and
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like,
And we
so that if anyone drops out or if there is a scenario, yeah, we are equipped for.
Yeah,
We
every
were
it's
scenario.
about
good last
being
year, my
equipped.
boy.
Yeah, that's what
and
I'm
that's
saying.
what it is, man. It's about, it's like you said, I'll use your words then. It's about the quality of player.
Exactly.
And Ketia, not the
Nketiah's
quality
still
of
here.
player.
Jesus
He's
is
still
still
here. He's
here.
not the quality of
Was
player.
Nketiah in the squad?
Yeah,
Nelson,
it was on the bench.
yeah, he was on the bench. Nelson, not the quality of
I agree.
player.
I'm not saying I disagree.
You know, all right, Trossard, he gets a bly. Yeah, he has delivered. Martinelli, last season was a down season. We've all agreed. You know, Jesus, we don't know what we're gonna get from this guy.
That's fair.
We don't know what we're gonna get from this guy. It's
He's
a
Bolivian
real
until further
anomaly. Kai Havertz, personally, I expect and believe that Havertz will have an even better season than
Talk
the
soon.
one he had. I believe that. I do. I think that 4 months of stuff,
5.
5 months.
People keep saying back end of the season. 5 months, bro.
No. I mean the 4 months of the season at the start.
Listen,
I mean the 4 months at the start.
Part of this
where
thing
he
is
struggled.
I have to
I believe it
challenge
will be
the
better.
opinions, fam.
That's fine. That's
and
what
then
we're here
the
for.
other part of things, I don't really believe in the variation theory. I just believe in the quality of player.
But let me just finish
You get
making
it?
my point. So, of these guys that we've named, Khalil was absolutely right. It's only Saka, really, and Havertz at this moment in time that I expect will deliver a high degree of consistency across those
Consistency
forward
of
players.
quality. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's goals and performance. Yeah. Jesus will give us performance. I don't think he'll give us goals.
Boy, I'm not even sure about
Trossard
the
may give
performance,
us. Trossard
He's given
may
us
give
3 months of good performances
goals.
in 2 years.
He won't give us performances. Martinelli, we're not sure. So for me, I'm looking across that same. We're light. We invest heavy in defenders. Yeah, we've got
As we
an
should.
abundance of quality.
As we should.
But we've got an abundance of quality in defense.
Good.
To an extent now in midfield as well. Jorginho, for me, still a very good player, a very good midfielder. Partey can be when he wants to be serious. Yeah,
Ain't no guarantee with that one.
yeah, there's no guarantees. But in terms of his ability and quality,
Yeah.
we can't argue it. We can't. Rice, that speaks for itself. Odegaard, top quality, man. And then the ones that are coming through, Miles and Ethan, quality. The only risks in midfield really are Vieira. And then we're
He's
still
even a
light.
midfielder at this stage, Vieira, to be honest.
Well,
He didn't-
kind of.
Marino's coming in anyway, so
did
that's
Kind of.
another name for
So,
midfield.
yeah,
so.
but we're waiting for one more to come in. So again, like
I'm not.
there's more
Don't get me wrong. I'm not
degree
saying
of
we don't need to strengthen.
consistency
I'm
and
saying is
quality there.
the variation
It's up front. That's what
theory.
it's-
I don't agree with that because I don't think it's about variation or
No, but I
necessary
agreed with you. I said
replication. It's
quality.
just
I
the
changed-
quality.
Yeah, I changed. I
But you-
I said quality.
Yeah, the thing with the variation though is I think you need to have players who are at the top end of those profiles. So you see, you can't just have an okay-ish fast winger, right? You need to have top pace.
For where we are now, yeah,
Yeah,
for
top
what we're
pace,
going for,
top
yeah,
physicality,
yeah.
right? Or
This is why I said Lookman for me wouldn't work.
Yeah,
He
or
doesn't
you-
have top pace. He's a good player.
or you have someone like Eze who's got
That's
top,
the Lookman profile basically. Eze is the Lookman profile in my opinion.
top dribbling ability. Do you get what I'm saying? To just delete, man. Do you get what if you haven't watched the Eze,
Cougs!
listen, yeah. Listen, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna
Cougs
lie.
the bash.
I'm gonna put it out there, yeah. The Eze scouting video is probably one of the best scouting tapes that I've watched of a player, to be honest, because the guy he just X's man, just X's them out in the
Yeah.
game, man. It's just nice.
So why you keep saying Neto?
Because I need that speed.
Man done. Hey, man done the Hulk Hogan glass.
Speed kills, man.
I need
Kills,
that
bro,
speed.
for real.
I need that speed. But yeah, just final prediction as well before we go into some listeners' questions. Champions League, right? So
Did we do points prediction? We didn't do
we
points
didn't do
prediction.
points
today.
prediction. Okay, how many points do you think we'll get? And then we'll move on to Champions League.
93 points. No. 91 points. I think it will be enough to win the league.
If we sign Marino and the squad stays as is, I'll go 91.
91. I'm gonna say 93. I'm gonna say 93.
Okay.
95.
90.
Damn.
But if I down the line, I down the line, man. It is what it is.
Yeah. So let's move on to Champions League because this year the new format, it's been much anticipated for like the last 2 seasons, I think, since it's been announced, right?
Yeah.
So just to explain, there's now going to be a league format before the knockout stages. And with this league format, it's going to be seeded draws. So you're going to play certain number of teams in pot 1 certain number of teams in pot 2, certain number of teams in pot 3, certain number of teams in pot 4, home and away. So you might end up with a home game against Real Madrid, an away game against, I don't know who's in pot 3, a next team Napoli or something like that, right? I don't think they got to Bologna. Let me say that.
Yeah, but Napoli, funny enough, didn't make it to Champions League, from what I understand.
You're a nasty
Hey, you
guy.
threw me the audio, but I was like, God damn, thank you, bro.
You're a very nasty guy. Anyway,
Keep it going. Keep it
I
going,
have to,
bro.
fam.
And the different thing now with that, you play 8 games in the group stages, so it's truncated, and it extends into January as well. And if you finish in the top 8 of the league, automatically through to the round of 16. If you finish in the next 16 positions, I believe you
Go
then
through to the
play
round.
a knockout, a
round.
playoff match
Yeah.
to qualify you for the round of 16. So you could eventually end up playing 10 games before you play the round of 16 match in the Champions League. So, you know, potentially a lot higher number of fixtures. Obviously, if you're Arsenal, you want to be finishing in that top 8 and get straight through. But with this new format, then, where do you see Arsenal coming out in the Champions League?
So let me go. The Super League got these man moving crazy. Yeah. So they've definitely rejigged it. For me, I think it makes the group stage harder. You can't do the research that you need to do on teams in the way. You know, teams learn from playing each other twice in a group stage format as well. If you're going away and playing one team off the bat, it's like, so it's going to make it more, it should make it more competitive. It should make it more exciting, but I think it's going to be more challenging. That said, Arsenal should be like one of the higher seeds, you know, coefficient. In fact, we've had a long period out of Europe, so and the top level. So I'm not sure where we stand in terms of whether we're going to group stages as top seeds or second seeds.
I think
but
we'll be second seeds.
yeah, probably second seeds. But I think the majority of the teams that we will get drawn against should be teams that we should still brush. I'd expect us in the group stage to finish, if not first, then second, depending on who else we draw. Like if we get drawn in a group with Real Madrid, I'm going to be realistic.
It's not a group thing, though, is it?
No, it's
It's a league.
Sorry,
Full league.
league.
And we could
Sorry,
face
it's a
Madrid.
league.
We could also.
Sorry.
So we need to basically be in the top 8.
Top
Yeah,
eight.
yeah, of the league. Yeah, sorry, that's what I mean.
Okay.
But
And how many
I think
teams are compete? Sorry, how many?
I think it's
36.
36.
It's 36. Yeah.
But it might even be more, you know. 'cause
I
I
thought
think
it's-
it's the top 24 that could potentially go into the round of 16. So I think it might.
Because
be
I
full.
thought it's
I think it might be full.
32.
I thought it was
36.
36 as well.
I'm
As in like
pretty
8,
sure it's-
16, and then the rest
And-
out.
and yeah.
Oh, I was pretty sure it was 36. Yeah, I don't know if it's probably for the same reason.
It's 30 plus though.
Yeah.
And you just play a different team every time. I think it's a lot more exciting.
It is
Yeah,
more
so it
exciting.
makes
lot
it
more
more
exciting.
exciting. 100%.
It should
But
be
I
way.
think
It should be
we'll-
way more entertaining, I think, as well, because you know, you actually could just play 7 different teams, or
No,
8.
that's-
You play
you
8
will
different
play.
teams.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
100%.
saying? So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's quite
Yeah.
quite
It's
a curveball.
Yeah, but I think we will get to. I'm expecting us to get to quarterfinals, semi-finals. That's my expectation for this team, especially if we add another quality piece or two. You know, with so Mourinho being one and potentially, you know, another attacker. I'm expecting us to get to a quarterfinal. I'll be disappointed if we didn't get to quarterfinals. Absolutely, absolutely. I think that's just where we need to be as a minimum. You know, and I'll be disappointed if we got knocked out in the quarters too.
I expect to replicate our performance from last season. I don't see any of the transfers that we've done that's going to take us from a quarterfinal stage to, let's say, a final or semi-final. I really don't think we've moved the needle at all in relation to the Champions League, at all. I think we're obviously a good team. We will qualify comfortably. I don't think we have... If we go against... so if you think about the caliber of teams that we'll face in the quarterfinal, Bayern Munich again, Real Madrid... Who else got to the quarterfinal?
It's about
I
fixtures.
can't lie.
though.
I think
it's
these
about
games are
fixtures.
about
Dortmund.
experience. These games are about experience.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
Dortmund
we
got
didn't
to-
have the
yeah,
experience
yeah,
last year.
Yeah.
We've seen how we play in the in big games. Like in the Premier League, the Big 6 league, we're top of that league.
Yeah.
really, I think quarterfinals minimum we should
Yeah.
be there. My expectation is semi-finals, getting close to the final.
Really?
That's my
That's
expectation.
what I was
Yeah,
going to say. Because
same.
I think
That's.
I
what
think it's
think
I think
should be going
I think it's experience not just for the players but for the manager as well.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think we were a bit too cautious in the Champions League last season, and I expect him to, maybe take the handbrake off a little bit, to use a Wengerism, yeah. But because I think if you look at the Bayern game, that first sort of 20-30 minutes,
We could have
home
killed
leg,
them, but we didn't.
we were very good, and then the moment we sort of saw that Sane counter, the Sane speed, we kind of got fearful. I think in the Porto it was kind of similar, that as soon as Rice got that yellow card in the first minute, we kind of went in ourselves. We're not losing today. So I think we ended up losing. So I think in Europe, Arteta does have question marks over his record, Europa League and Champions League, and I think for us to move the needle, I don't think it takes much, in terms of transfers. I think it's the experience and also just being a bit riskier in terms of platforming your attackers. Because I think the best teams, the teams that go far, they say, attackers, go win me this game. Do you get what I'm saying? And then you give them the opportunity. You don't necessarily, rely on them to do as much defensive work. That's just my personal opinion.
It's true. You give them the license.
You give them the license to go and win you the game. And I think if we're able to do that, we can get further without even
I've got a
necessarily...
And
slightly
that was the
different take on this.
difference. And that was the difference in the Bayern game. I think Sane was an example of the difference. He was that player who, and Gnabry to an extent, but for me it was more so Sane. He got license, and he just was able to just kill us with his speed. And they carried him,
And also-
and it paid off.
But he also had the attributes to do what he did.
He has the attributes, but this
is what I'm
We
saying.
might be signing
but it
that guy,
comes
so
back to-
I hold yours.
We might be.
But it comes
We
back
also
to
may
the
not
earlier
be.
conversation that we had about quality and
Yeah.
then bringing a player
I
in.
also
Yeah.
think a big problem in the Champions League last season was the fact that we didn't have the double-sided threat as well. So
Very predictable.
Thomas Tuchel said before the game,
we knew.
we're gonna we're gonna lock down that
Yeah.
Saka axis, and we didn't have anything to give back to them on the other side. And I think if we do have that double threat, you can try shut us down, but we got angles, that we can attack from. So, I definitely think that we can. This is me being super optimistic in my predictions. So, man are gonna jump, but boy, I definitely think we can make the semis.
I don't necessarily think it's risk, because I look at the template for Champions League is set. Real Madrid have been winning Champions League consistently. They not necessarily take the game to teams. They let the game come to them, and they're very resolute, very experienced, and they can see out and be. They're very hard to beat. Essentially, they can see out a game. They can see out, long pressure periods, and then hit them on the counter. The Vinicius, the Rodrigo. So, I think it's about being even more resolute defensively than we were, and I think in the Champions League, because you're facing more a higher level individual quality, the Kiviors are going to get found out. So that's how we lost the Bayern Munich tie, in my opinion. Kivior was found out defensively, and he was matched up against, their second best attacker, essentially.
Man's witch hunting.
No, it's just the
No, I
truth,
hear it.
and
It's true.
I don't
No,
even
no,
like,
I'm
I don't
sorry,
even
it's
dislike
true.
Kivior
No,
like
it's
others in the
true.
group.
I'm
I actually
winding
think
you
he's a decent level player.
I'm winding you up.
But, Musiala, and it was Musiala and Sane that the matchups were bad. And that's where Partey hurt us, not being there. Rice had to help Jorginho with Musiala centrally. So that shifted the balance for us. Musiala being the threat centrally, killing Jorginho at times. And Kivior being scared of Sane. He couldn't get near him. So we didn't have that on the other side because, the balance was so unbalanced. Like Bayern Munich didn't have even someone like Dyer, the difference between his level and whoever he was facing, Havertz or Jesus, it wasn't as high as Sane against Kivior or Jorginho against Musiala. So those matchups will kill you. So adding the likes of Timber, the Calafiores, the Marinos, I think in those games the matchups will be more in our favour. Again, we're adding physically strong and defensively good players, technically sound players, making the game more tight. And I think then we will be able to see can the Saka, can the Udegaard make the difference again, which they in some of these games did. And And I do agree. That's why I'm saying we need one more forward. For me, it's however not a variation thing. It's just a quality thing. We need one more forward because Martinelli hasn't shown up in these games yet. In the Champions League, in the league he has, but not in the Champions League. So can we add another guy that if he are not on it today, it's this guy that's going to do it. And then for me, centre forward, I think Havertz got more to give in big games in the Champions League, and Jesus needs to give more in these games because his time is ticking. Time is ticking.
I'm not gonna lie, I think Havertz will be.
Did we bring
fine.
on Eddie against Bayern Munich as well? So it's like,
Yeah,
Did
I think.
Did we?
Yeah.
We
Late
did, didn't we?
games, yeah. I think Havertz will be fine in the big games.
No, I think he will be fine, but
yeah, for me, it's more outside of them big games. And I think the fixtures as well. I think the fixtures matter.
It's once you're in the knockouts, right, and because they do the quarter and semi draw together. Yeah, once you see that draw,
Yeah, you know your pathway.
then you know,
yeah,
right? Because Champions League,
yeah,
big time. It's
yeah.
about the draw. I'm telling you, Dortmund are not making the final if they're on our side.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
draw.
of
course,
And we're probably making the final if we're on Dortmund's
side,
side. The draw,
yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I definitely think quarterfinal minimum. You know,
100%.
I think anything less than that will be a disappointment.
we should be aiming to win
given
it.
where we are.
We might not get there, but that should be
No, of
the
course
aim.
should be aiming to win it. I just don't see us getting past.
And then,
that's
yeah,
it.
I would like to see us in the final. So, before we wrap up, that Lato video came straight up on my TL. crazy. But yeah, let's get into some
Mr. Cooks, huh?
listeners' questions. So, so how he said, points prediction, will it be enough to slap that bald man's head? We've done that. Bait-faced Nate. Given the poor, below par returns of Martinelli, Jesus, Vieira, what some tangible targets for each? So we've done Martinelli, Vieira. I'm not
NA, man.
I'm not doing that. But Gabriel Jesus, what do we think for him?
Goal targets. Goal targets or just like
How many
all
games
level.
and goals?
Oh god, nah, man. I'm not playing. I'm not playing with games because games.
We need to
all
imagine that
look
he plays
stupid.
25 games at least.
Games
It all
will all look
counts.
stupid
No,
because if
league.
he could just go and collapse himself and then he feels something in his knee. Assuming he doesn't, games to play or start.
A lot of questions,
Start.
brother.
No, I just want to be. I
I
want
think
to be clear. Let's be
Start
clear.
is more interesting.
Start is more interesting.
Because even if he doesn't, start, I assume he'll come off the bench in most games that he doesn't start. So
Oh, start 24 games.
I'm not going to get into
comes?
starts with
League.
Jesus.
League.
league.
Yeah, league 24.
I'm not going to get into starts with Jesus. I'm going to say what I've said already. I need performances. I need goals.
How many goals?
The most amount of goals he scored in England, as I understand, is 14 for Manchester City.
Lacazette numbers.
Lacazette numbers.
I like the way Dan turned there and looked at me.
Lacazette numbers. And I did not like Lacazette. I'm
hate
not saying
this.
that kindly.
I hate it.
I need 14 is what I need.
You need 14.
I don't care.
So you
if
don't
he-
even
I-
need him to better his
I-
best ever. You just need him to hit that.
Equal your best ever.
Okay.
Like,
And then what? Where do we go?
I don't
after
care
that?
if he has injuries that keep him out for 6 months. If I do not come to the end of the season and see that Gabriel Jesus has 14 goals,
It's a make or break, I think, for him.
Absolutely.
time to go.
Yeah,
He's-
absolutely.
He's a high earner at this club as well.
Yeah.
That's the thing. He's a senior
Very-
guy.
You might need to pocket watch him, man.
No. It's
I'm happily pocket watching.
It's true.
I agree with you, man. I'm just playing,
For me,
man.
it's like- and for me, if he doesn't,
Listen, yeah, you haven't said stop pocket watching his acting
know,
studio.
boy.
Chill out, man. This guy, chill out, man.
This guy coming in
I'm sure
Dior's.
this guy
This
is going
guy's-
2K.
Nah,
Easy. Light work, bro, on a Sunday.
Nah, nah,
Light
man.
work for him,
Hey, listen,
bro.
yeah.
Light work.
No one think of bellying up when China robs German, man. no one. Do
Rob
Hey,
Coogs
don't put
instead.
that-
Coogs
hey,
is
don't
rich,
put
you
that-
know.
hey, don't put that
Yeah,
out
you
there.
look, Coogs is rich.
Hey,
Let's
don't
rob
put-
this
hey,
guy.
Don't put that out there.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, it's important because if he ultimately we need to be able to move him on if he doesn't deliver. So he needs to be fit and available. He needs to ball out, and if he balls out, it's good for us. If he gets injured or whatever, we're fucked. We're not going to move this guy. We're fucked. We're not going to be able to move
Saudi's
him on.
there though.
It'll be, yeah, but Saudi.
He's got a big rep, man. I think
Can we not send him back to Palmeiras?
I think Saudi's the only
Viable.
option.
Yeah, because
he's got a big rep though. People, I think
what's he-
people
what's he-
understand how big
what's-
of a name he is.
what's his contract?
I think he'll have 2 years left.
No, what I
After
mean,
the
what's his
season.
wage?
Reported 260, 265.
Yeah, 260 is big money,
Something like
bro.
that, yeah.
That's big money.
So
260
boy,
a week.
I think he needs to really
Rise it.
be a big leader for us. This
100%.
season. Performances and goals. I say, I think he'll have less than 24 starts. I think he'll have about 16, 17 starts.
That's what he had last season, though.
Is
I
it?
think it's going to be the same.
Yeah,
That's
I
what he
think-
had basically last 17, I think.
I think because he was playing on the wings as well. Actually, to be fair, so maybe with wing starts, he might
Yeah, I
he might
think
go
wings-
up. Actually,
I'm 100% I'm
But
considering wing.
up front, I'm saying 16 starts up front, and he needs to come back with 11 goals.
Huh?
He needs to hit 11 goals. I don't think he's going to be the main starter though.
These standards are like.
I don't think he's going to be the main starter though.
It's very difficult to predict because Havertz did 30 Premier League starts, but a lot of them were in midfield last season. So you'd expect if Mourinho actually comes in that Havertz won't play in midfield as much.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
So it'll be
I
between
expect
him and
Havertz-
Jesus up top or Jesus wide. So
I think Havertz
I expect
will start
I expect Havertz to
every
start.
game.
Yeah. I think Havertz will start nearly
Up front.
every league game that he's fit and available for. He will start.
I'm
He
telling you,
does-
the midfield experiment is not done yet, though.
That's what I
So
mean.
Jesus will play up top.
I think Havertz will be starting up
It's
top.
gonna be
or
Havertz,
midfield most
Marino,
games.
Rice, and the Twin Towers. You don't see that like them lining up in the tunnel. It's a long day, brother. It's a long day.
Best.
Yeah.
Did you man see that attack apparently like the gold the black kit with the golds because it looked intimidating in the
Yeah.
tunnel.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I heard that before.
100%.
He said that he disliked the pink kit. For
That's
the
why he
opposite
barely
reason.
wore it, yeah.
For the opposite reason, that he didn't think it was
Serious kit.
intimidating enough. So
Yeah.
we never wore it.
Never had a pink kit since.
Yeah, he are 26 says, how many game weeks do you think Partey will be injured for this season?
That's a good question, fam. I'm not gonna lie.
Good question, man.
19,
That's probably
half.
easier to guess how many goals
yeah.
than how many goals Jesus will score, fam.
Absolutely. Yeah.
He's missing half the
I
season.
hate this question, man. I hate this question because I love it, but I think he'll miss half the season.
Nah.
Big facts. What do you mean, nah?
I'm
It could
saying nah, I just don't think so.
cumulatively for the
Bro.
lot. But how much evidence? How much more evidence do you need?
I'm gonna say he misses 10 games.
10 games. What?
You must be in Football Manager or
Injury?
FIFA. You're not
What?
mean in real
You
life.
think he's
When-
only gonna miss 10 games? Well, 10 games could
When
be
is
about
the next international break? Because after that we won't see him for 3 months.
See this guy for
Promise
October,
you, fam.
October, bro. October.
Yeah,
He's
we're-
a-
No,
he's
no, sorry. There's one in September.
Oh,
September,
yeah.
October, November.
There's one in September. there's
he'll
one
be
in
back.
October.
He'll be back after New Year.
He's gonna
dirty
miss
December.
He's gonna miss 10 games in December alone. Alone.
I don't know what to make of Partey.
You
though,
man are
You know,
taking the piss,
I used to
bro.
defend that guy, but
Yeah,
I don't know what to make. For me, you can only believe in players on what they show you,
yeah.
and unless they're new, you can give them a bit of grace. There's no grace for Partey, bro. Perform or die, bro.
The only difference is why I'm saying he's going to miss 10 games is he's had the reparatory surgery.
Brother.
Right? So
Brother, he's
Brother,
47
the
years
surgery's
old.
irrelevant, bro. The surgery.
I like the optimism.
What about the injuries?
I like the optimism.
Today
still.
I'm being optimistic.
What about the
Yeah.
previous injuries that didn't require surgery?
Today I'm being
How do you account for those?
I like you, man. You lie a lot.
JK Muku, this is just Martinelli slander section. For who we want to be, is Martinelli good enough for the left wing? I think he's a good player, but can we still get more from the left wing? And Yonko Abs, shout at him, asks a question almost every week. He says, Martinelli is good enough to kick ball for Arsenal, but is he good enough to be Arsenal's first choice left wing in 2024? I'm not having Trossard as first choice, respectively. And then Yonko Abs also asks more, right? Says, when Arsenal operating at this high level, weaknesses can become even more apparent. Last season, we saw Zinchenko's defensive deficiency exposed extremely. If we don't upgrade at left wing, will Martinelli's lack of decisiveness in the final third be what's exposed the most in 24-25? Man are onto Martinelli.
Man,
I'm
onto
telling you.
him. Right,
big
quite a
season for
couple
him.
players caught some static in that one. Yeah, Zinchenko as well. We've discussed that, to be fair.
Yeah.
We keep shooting for the same. Let's shoot for Gabby Jesus as well. I don't like how he's not in these questions, fam.
Okay.
Perfect timing.
Tommy Ajay.
Perfect timing.
I know he's a Gabby Jesus hater.
Shout out him as well. Big TG listener and a patron as well.
Yeah, this is how you know things are on the line. The listeners are awake.
roll. They're tense as hell. It says, good afternoon.
Hey, Tommy, man. Hey, Tommy.
This is a question specifically for the good doctor if he's on.
Hey, we could ask him.
We'll ask him though.
We'll ask him.
We'll answer and then we'll ask him. He says, I need a prediction of how many goals a one Gabriel Fernando de Jesus will get in the league and in all competitions. Same for assists as well. How much he's willing to wager on this as well. He's trying to get some.
Nah,
some
don't.
doctor's piece.
Yeah,
I don't think. He's gonna,
don't wager with this guy, man.
I don't think he's gonna bet you, man.
No, I just messaged the doc. Let's see if he comes back.
replies on time.
If he replies on
We've
time,
given you
we'll
our
come
goal
back to you
prediction
direct.
for,
Yeah.
For Jesus. And this one, KG, to finish the pod very quickly, we've got 3 minutes left. It says, what next for Arsenal if we finish second to Man City again and Guardiola extends his contract at the end of the season? That is hellish
That
scenario.
is hell, isn't it?
Hellish scenario. Guardiola is arguably the best manager in the world. I don't think it's an argument. Has a world-class squad and unlimited funds, so replacing Arteta seems futile. What next?
We go again,
We
man.
go again.
We go again.
We go again.
That's what.
Brother, why are we talking about next season now? Well, let's
Now
talk
we
about
started
this
this
season.
season,
Not even. I'm saying next season as in like the one that's starting
Yeah,
in the week.
25
Man is talking about the next year, bro.
Yeah, no,
Let's stop. Let's stop.
Man's worried that man's
Listen,
protecting his emotions.
listen.
You know what that is?
I
isn't
hear
it?
You know
that.
what Kanye
He's
said,
guarding
yeah?
his grill.
You know what Kanye
He's starting
said?
early though.
Guarding his grill, bro.
They wanted to know what would happen if I didn't win. Yeah?
Guess we'll never know.
That might be the pod title, you know?
I guess we'll never know, man.
Never know,
Hey,
man.
that's
And
cold.
End of the season. I hope we can say the same, man. I hope we can. Say
I'm already booking my annual leave.
yeah.
I'll be using my annual leave in May time.
Book the hotel, book the parade,
Everything, man.
Let's
Mm.
go,
I'm
let's
ready.
go. But gents, thank you very much for joining me. First live, in-person podcast of the season. We're hoping to do many more of these coming up. Khalil, Shabs, German, thanks for coming. Listeners, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you guys soon. After first game of the season, Wolves versus Arsenal at the Emirates as well,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah. So
Okay.
home game to open the year. Hopefully that's a dub. We'll do a prediction pod for you as well this week. I think we're going to do a couple more scouting pieces that should be out for the patrons as well. So keep your ear to the ground, eyes peeled for that. Otherwise, we'll catch you guys soon. Peace.
Peace.
Safe.
Have you got a... Yeah.
What are you doing, Khalil? You got to go back to Manchester.
I'm going back to the village, man. Going back to Bristol.